People, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the video. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. Do me a big favor, guys. Get down in that description box, click on that Instagram link. Give me a follow on Instagram and then send me a DM and let me know that you're rocking with me. I really would appreciate that. I'm trying to get the Instagram page back to where the old page was a year ago when they decided to disable it. So need your help there, guys. Need y'all to go to the Instagram page, click on the link down in the description box. Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor is the name of the new Instagram page. The old one was Richard Fain 28, 90,000 followers. Man, we had a good time on that particular page, but we no longer have it. So no sense of looking back in the past. I'm one of these guys. I live for the present and look forward to the future. So the new page is Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. The link is down in the description box, the Instagram link. So get down there to the description box, click on that Instagram link, give me a follow, and then send me a DM so I can say thank you, and also to let me know that you're rocking with me. I appreciate you guys that rock with me on a daily basis. Matter of fact, I appreciate all of you guys that pop in from time to time, watch my videos, catch the live streams. Thank you so much for all your support. The only reason I'm doing this is for you guys, and I appreciate y'all supporting me and rocking with me. Also, guys, just a real quick one. The website. I've been talking about the website all week. For you guys that rock with me on a daily basis in the live streams, you guys know I've been talking about the website. It's basically ready. Finished the last little touches on it yesterday with my daughters who have helped me. Matter of fact, my daughters have been great. They've done really all the work, putting the website together, putting the digital products on there. Again, it's not a perfect website. We're not trying to be a Mac Daddy website. We're just trying to be a basic website to provide a couple of things to you guys to assist you in building your wealth and getting to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's the purpose of the website. It's not to be some Mac Daddy website. So when you go into the website, when we turn it on Monday, April 15th, it'll go live. It's going to have digital products. It's going to have a membership tab. Now, that membership tab is not going to be for everybody. It's just going to be for the people who see value in rocking with me on a one-on-one basis with exclusive content, exclusive live streams that we'll be doing through the website. It won't have anything to do with YouTube. So, and again, you ain't got to be a part of the membership. The membership is going to be for those folks that rock with me on a daily basis. So if that's not you, don't worry about it. I understand. But for those that want to have that extra level of time with me, then that membership will be important to you. Like I said, we're going to have exclusive stuff on there. We're going to be doing interviews with people who have built wealth. We're going to be taking you on the road with me when I do various things that are not going to show up on the YouTube channel. So be ready for that website. It's gonna happen tomorrow. We're gonna turn it live tomorrow, and in the 10:30 a.m. live stream, I'm gonna let you guys know it's ready to go, and it's gonna be down in the description box, the website link. So be ready for it. Like I said, a lot of you guys have asked for it, so we've stepped up, went ahead and created it. Now it'll be ready to go. Also, hey guys, if you want the 7 free stocks from Moomoo, you got to click on the link down in the description box. Open up that new Moo account. They're going to give you 7 free stocks when you put $100 in your new brokerage account. And not just regular stocks. They're going to be the Magnificent Seven. A lot of you guys know who the Magnificent Seven is. A lot of you guys don't know who the Magnificent Seven is. The Magnificent Seven are the 7 top companies in the S&P 500. There are also 7 companies that are in the top 15 companies from a market value standpoint in the world, right? You're talking about Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Top 7 companies in the S&P 500. They're going to give you fractional shares of those companies when you open a Moo account. You put $100 in it, boom, they're going to give you those fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven. 7 fractional shares. Now that link is down in the description box as well. So if you want to rock with that, go down, click on that Moo link, and there you go. You open up your new Moo account. You're ready to go. You're going to get the 7 Magnificent 7 fractional shares. And now you're in a position to start buying paper assets to continue building your wealth. We're going to talk about that today, how you do that. Guys, you know, this is a Q&A. So I do these Q&As every Sunday on the YouTube channel. So it'll be an hour and a half where you guys are able to ask me any questions you want to ask me. My recommendation to you is use the super chat feature because that'll get your question up to the top. I don't know how many people are going to be in here. We can have 1,000 people in here. We can have 100 people in here. I don't know. It'll be what it is. The more people that come in, the more questions that'll be asked. And y'all know how I am. I don't just read a question and I give a little 2-second answer. That's not how I roll. When I get a question, I go through a full answer. Right? Now that answer may take me 2 minutes. It may take me 10 minutes. So super chat is your best option if you want your question bubbled up to the top. So having said that, I've set the ground rules, which is be respectful in the chat. If I catch you in the chat pitching crazy stuff or acting crazy, I'm excommunicate you. Because I know how to do that now. I got my laptop right here and I can see everything that's going on. And I know exactly how to excommunicate you if you get in the chat acting crazy. So I don't need no moderators. I'm the moderator because I'm looking. I can see exactly who in here and what you're trying to do. And if it's something stupid, I'm going to excommunicate you. For those of y'all don't know what that word means, go to the $1 trillion research lab, type that in. It'll tell you exactly what it means. All right. So let's roll on. We know this is a Q&A. We're getting started. I can see people rolling in here. I'm sure the questions will start rolling in here in a second. But until they do, let me go ahead and kind of walk you guys through this whole concept of guaranteed wealth. Because I know some of y'all are saying to yourself, Richard, there's no such thing as guaranteed wealth. Yeah, it is. There is a such thing as guaranteed wealth. And guess what, guys? It's here. You can guarantee yourself wealth if you follow a blueprint. If you follow a proven blueprint, you can guarantee yourself wealth. See, when I think about building wealth, I think about the story of the acorn and the oak tree. If you have ever heard that story goes simply like this. You plant a little acorn. And that little acorn that you plant, if you're patient enough, if you're consistent enough, if you're disciplined enough, it'll grow into a beautiful, 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 beautiful oak tree that can provide you shade. It can provide you a beautiful thing to look at. But it starts off as a little acorn. Now, here's the thing, though. When you go out and you plant that acorn, the next day you wake up, it's still an acorn. A month from now, when you wake up, it starts out as a little bitty plant, little tree. But then what do you start doing? You start watering that thing daily. You start fertilizing that thing, right? You start pulling back the weeds. You start caring for it. And you do that on a consistent basis. You have patience with it. And then before you know it, down the road somewhere, it turns into this beautiful oak tree. That's how building wealth is, guys. See, the acorn doesn't turn into an oak tree overnight. It doesn't. Anybody that knows anything about plants and trees and things of that nature, they can tell you it takes time. You got to develop a level of discipline. You got to develop a level of consistency and patience if you're going to be in that world. I liken it to investing, because if you're going to build wealth and guarantee wealth to yourself, that's going to take what? That's going to take a level of discipline, consistency, and patience. Because you're going to do the same thing you would do when you plant this acorn. You're going to take $100, $200, $500, $1,000, whatever your budget will allow. You're going to take whatever your budget will allow, and you're going to start planting that acorn or that seed. You'll start planting that seed. Then you're going to start watering that seed. How do you water your investments? Well, you're going to start continue to dollar cost average in every single month. That's the watering, right? So you plant the initial seed, which is the $100, the $200, the $500, the $1,000. That's the initial seed. And then, of course, you're going to continue to water that seed. You're going to continue to invest more money every single, month into that investment. And then you're going to be patient. You're not going to look for that acorn to turn into an oak tree overnight. You're not going to look at that $100 you put in to turn into $1 million overnight. Doesn't happen. Even though that's what the 1% want you to think. The 1% want you to think it can turn into wealth overnight, but it can't, right? You're going to have to be patient. You have to wait. You got to consistently put that $100 in. And then guess what you're going to do? You have to step it up. There's a step up. So if I can't go from $100 to $1 million in 10 years, not going to happen in most cases. But what can happen is if I start out with 100 and I continue to hustle over here with side hustles and increasing my skill set so I add more value to the marketplace so I can make more money, I can take more money and do what with it? Continue to water that seed. That's what you got to do. If you do that, guess what? You're guaranteed success. You're guaranteed wealth. Well, Richard, what is wealth? Well, that depends on what you want wealth to be. I can't define wealth for you. You got to define wealth for you. My definition of wealth is going to be different than your definition. But one universal thing I can tell you, at least what I believe, wealth takes care of you. Wealth generates income that takes care of you. The difference is the wealth that I need to generate the income I need to take care of me is going to be different than what you need, right? So wealth to me is more about income generation than it is about millions of dollars, right? It's income generation. So if I need $10,000 a month in income, and you only need $5,000 a month in income, guess what? Our wealth level is going to be different. The level of wealth I need is going to be different than the level of wealth you need because you need less money than I need to live on. So wealth has everything to do with income generated, right? You gotta have a level of wealth to be able to generate whatever income you need on a monthly basis. I always tell people this, whatever income you're out here actively making, where you're trading time for money, that should be the measuring stick. So a guy like me, I'm out here making, let's say I'm out here working a job, a 9 to 5, and I'm making 100 grand a year, and I'm living my lifestyle. I'm doing I'm accustomed to that. My goal would be create enough assets over here that generate 100,000 a year, because that's what I'm making here. I want my lifestyle to be the same. The difference is I don't want to have to go to work every day to get the money to pay for the lifestyle. That's the reason I put my money in assets. So at some point, I don't have to go over here and trade time for money. I can lean on my assets, but I generate the same income. See, to me, that's wealth. When I was building my wealth over the last 25 years, that was my goal. My goal was to do what? Replace my income from my 9 to 5. That represented wealth. Now, in order to do that, I had to know exactly what my net worth needed to be in order to create the income. A lot of us don't know that, right? A lot of us don't know that. So understand where we're at here. A lot of us do not know how much income we need. A lot of us don't know how much wealth we need. Because how do you know that, Richard? Because I get people that ask me all the time. They email me all the time. And that's fine. That's why I'm here. But I also encourage people to tap in to the videos on a daily basis. Tap into the live streams. Tap into the edited videos. That's where all the information you need is found, right? So if you're someone that says, hey man, I want to follow this guy, I want to be able to connect with this guy, your first way to connect with me is through the videos that I do on YouTube. Because I got a question yesterday. Someone said, hey, I got $5,000 I want to invest, and I want to create generational wealth. Now, okay, all of us can have a different definition of generational wealth, right? My definition of generational wealth is where I create wealth. I create assets, right? Let's say I bust my butt, I create these assets. These assets generate income that pays for my lifestyle. See, for me, generational wealth would be taking those assets when I leave this place. I take those assets and pass them on to the next generation. And then guess what? Those assets generate income to take care of the next generation. When the next generation is ready to leave this place, they take those assets and pass them on to the next generation. The key here is generational wealth, guys, in my opinion, is about assets that you pass down to generations to come, or pass up to generations to come, that generate income to take care of them. To me, that's generational wealth. Now, generational wealth, I guess, could be 1 penny in income, or it can be $100,000 in income, I assume. But $5,000, $10,000 that you invest one time, I don't know how much generational wealth you pass on with that, right? I look at generational wealth as never, the generation that it passes to, they never have to touch the principal. They only live on the interest. And then they pass on the principal to the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation. There are families, there are groups of people in our country that do that. They have wealth sufficient enough to take care of them during their life, and then they pass that wealth on to the next generation, which it will take care of the next generation as well. That's generational wealth to me. How do you create this generational wealth? Well, you got to build assets. Just like the acorn in the oak tree. It takes time, guys. We got to discipline ourselves, get ourselves in a position where we're consistent and patient. We're not taught that. No one teaches us this. They don't want us to know this. They want us to just want everything right now. They don't want us to wait on nothing. They don't want us to develop patience, right? But if we're going to build wealth and guarantee ourselves this wealth, we got to do that. Again, guys, if you got questions, again, hit me with the super chat to make sure you get your questions up to the top of the list. Now, here's the thing, because, you know, what we got to understand here is what's working against you. See, this guaranteed wealth thing exists, but there are forces that are working against you. You have to understand that. There are forces out here in this world that are working against you. They don't want you to build generational wealth. They don't want you to build wealth sufficient enough to create enough income to take care of you. They don't. Because, see, you got to understand the way most things work in the world and in the United States is the way things work is you have a select group of people who control all the wealth. And normally that group of people is the minority, right? When I say minority, I'm not talking about groups of people. I'm talking about 1% of the people compared to 99% of the people. See, 1% of the people would be the minority. The majority of the people are the 99%. See, 1% of the people control 99% of the wealth in this country and in the world. See, that group of people has no incentive to teach you anything about building wealth. They don't. They use you to build their wealth and to keep their lifestyle. That's what they do. So everything in their power that they can do to keep you down here in the 99%, the have-not category, they do. Everything they can do to keep you in the 99% have-not category, they do. Right? You do know that, right? 1%, they are the haves. They control 99% of the wealth. So you're saying, well, Richard, if they control 99% of the wealth, how do I get my piece? Reprogram your way you think. You got to reprogram the way you think. You can have your guaranteed wealth, but you can't have guaranteed wealth if you're spending every dollar you make to make the 1% wealthy. Then you don't get guaranteed wealth. You got to change the way you think. Then you guarantee wealth. Because I guarantee you, if you take money and you put it in assets, you guarantee yourself wealth. How can you guarantee that? Because that's what I did. That's what millions of other people do. They do. 88% of the millionaires in this country are self-made. What do you think they did? They just guaranteed themselves wealth. Nobody gave it to them. The 1% didn't give them anything. They went out and earned it on their own. They built businesses. They built real estate portfolios. They invested in paper assets. That's how you guarantee yourself wealth. You take your money and put it in assets that create income. You don't take your money and go buy things that make the 1% wealthier. That's what they want you to do, but you don't have to do that. No one's forcing you to do that. That's how you guarantee wealth to yourself. We got some super chats rolling in, so let's go ahead and hit these super chats. I appreciate you guys with these super chats. This is the way to get your question to the top of the list and get it answered. Willie Anderson, super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you rocking with me. Appreciate that. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much, Willie. Here we go. Let's move on to, I think that's Dingle Man 1. I appreciate the super chat, Dingle Man 1. Once you get $2 million in cash / assets, where do you put it to get a 5 to 7% return for life? That's a great question, Dingle Man, because that brings me back to, building wealth, in my opinion, is in 2 phases, right? You got 2 phases. You got phase 1, which is the building stage of wealth. When Dingle Man says, okay, I built this $2 million. He was in phase 1, which is the building stage. So he's building this money up. He's taking his cash, his income, He's not buying stupid stuff that depreciates in value and don't create no income, but it takes money out of your pocket, don't put no money in your pocket. So he's eliminated that. He's taken his income, whether it be from his business, whether it be from side hustles, whether it be from a W-2, a 1099, wherever he gets his income, he's taking that income and he's putting that income in something that will get it to the $2 million. That's the building stage of wealth. How do you get to the 2 million in the building stage? In my opinion, you go find assets that grow faster than the average asset in the marketplace. What do you mean by that, Richard? Well, if I want to buy paper assets, I'm going to go buy paper assets that are growing faster. I'm going to go to companies and buy stock in those companies that are growing faster than the average company in the market. Right? So I'm going to go to growth companies like Apple, like Tesla, like Nvidia, and many others in many sectors. You go find those companies, or you go find ETFs like the S&P 500, like the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000. You go find these growth investments that grow faster than the average company or the average ETF in the market. They're growing faster. That's where I put my money to grow it to the 2 million. I go buy me a piece of real estate in a really, really good location where people have a desire to live that has a guaranteed appreciation rate of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% a year. And I just hold that property and collect my rent and watch my appreciation compound for 10 or 15 years. That's how you get to the 2 million. So now Dingo Man has gotten to the 2 million. Now he's saying, okay, I've reached my wealth. Now it's time for me to transition my wealth to income. Right? For the last 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, I've been in growth mode. I was in growth mode, but I've reached my net worth. Now I'm ready to get income. That takes me to phase 2, which is the enjoyment stage of wealth. Phase 1 is the building stage of wealth. Phase 2 is the enjoyment stage. Now that I've built my 2 million, now I don't want to risk it anymore. I want to preserve it. I want to protect it. So I take it out of fast growing investments and I go put it in something that's value or stable, that has a proven track record of paying income. Normally when I'm in a fast growing, in a growth stage, they don't pay me no income because they take all the growth and they re-put it back into the company to keep growing. They don't pay dividends in a lot of cases. Or if they do pay them, they're super small. But once I get the wealth, then I can take my wealth and go put it into instruments that will give me a 5 to 7% return for life. Well, how do you do that, Richard? Well, I take the 2 million and I got some choices. I can take the 2 million and I can decide, okay, I want to take $1 million and I want to go buy me a 6-unit apartment building that I'm going to pay $1 million for. I'm going to own it free and clear, no loans, and it's going to give me a 6% return every year. I'm going to get a net income from that property of $60,000. That's one way I can do it. I can take $1 million and go buy me an apartment building, a little mini apartment building. I can go buy me a commercial building. I own it free and clear. I get all the rental income, pay my little expenses, and boom, my net income is 6%. I get a cash on cash return of 6% on that commercial building or that residential building or that multifamily building. That's one way I can guarantee myself a 6% rate of return every year on that $1 million. I could also take $1 million if I want to, and I can go put it into various value stocks. See, you got growth stocks and you got value stocks. See, value stocks are typically companies that are already mature. They're behemoths. They're not growing as fast, but boy, they're super profitable. And guess how they attract investors like you and me with $1 million? They pay us big dividends. They know they're not growing as fast anymore, so they're not going to attract people who are looking for growth. They attract people who are looking for income. See, they're super profitable. You take a company like AT&T, behemoth, #1 telecommunications company in the world, but they're not growing as fast as Tesla. They're not growing as fast as NVIDIA, but guarantee you their revenues are way more than theirs, and their profit is. So they take that profit and they share it with the shareholders through what they call dividends. And AT&T is probably paying somewhere between a 5 and 7% yield annually. So I can take my $1 million, put it into AT&T stock, and get me $60,000 to $70,000 a year in income. Or I can take the million and put it in something else. I can put it in a bond. I can put it in laddered CDs. I can put it in anything I want, guys. The key is building it to the 2 million. And I guarantee you, once you get it to 2 million, you will find places to put it to generate a 5 to 7% return. I just gave you a couple examples right there. Real estate is one of my favorite ones. Because if you got $2 million, man, you can take that $2 million and get you a nice real estate portfolio that will throw you off 6% a year. Easy. Easy. There are such things as what they call triple net or absolute net leases. You can get an absolute net lease, right? You can build to suit a building for something like CVS or Walgreens. These companies don't want to own real estate. They don't want it on their balance sheets. They rather rent, but they will give you an absolute net lease for 20 years, 25 years, right? That means absolute net means, guess what? All the rental income comes to you. You pay no expenses for the property. The tenant does. That's absolute net. They pay property taxes. They pay insurance, everything. All you get is a check for 20 to 25 years. That's what you can do with the money. So it's many things you can do when you build a wealth, guys. The hard part for people is building the wealth. That's the hard part. The easy part is when you got the wealth, you go out and find investments to put it in. That's the easy part. So I hope that answered your question, Dingle Man. Great question, though. Let's move on to the next super chat, which is Mopar. Appreciate you, Mopar, man. Appreciate the super chat. Let's read your question here. I rocked with you last week by planting a large acorn in NVIDIA 10-year plan. I'm planning to plant an acorn in SMCI this week, 10-year plan. What vehicle would you invest your newly funded Roth in a 10-year plan? Well, I think you got to think about what you're trying to get accomplished, right, Mopar? I love the way you're going with this. You got the 10-year plan. So that tells me you've developed some patience. See, most people wouldn't have that patience. Oh, golly, I put it in the video yesterday and golly, it went down $3. What am I going to do? I'm going to lose everything. No, it's not. That's the way the stock market works. That's why you stay in there long term. You're going to have ebbs and flows. But I guarantee, again, my opinion is the NVIDIA play, let me tell you, in 10 years, these people are going to be doing about $300 billion in revenue over the next, they're doing 60 billion right now. I'm telling you, if they 12x, they don't even need the 12x, just 6x it. That's over $300 billion in revenue. I'm telling you, man, the NVIDIA play, in my opinion, is the play. But I get it. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. So I diversify. I'm still in growth mode. So I diversify in equities, but I diversify in ETFs. I don't mind NVIDIA, but I can't put all my eggs in NVIDIA. I got to diversify some of the eggs. I got to put some of the eggs in a different basket just to protect myself. So I got the NVIDIA play. I'm okay with that. I think it's going to the moon, right? But I still need to diversify some of my eggs in a different basket. So for me, it's an S&P 500 ETF. Not only do I get the tech space, the Magnificent Seven, but I get every other industry, every other sector in the United States in that fund. That's what I would do, Mopar. If I'm getting ready to fund an IRA, you already got your play in NVIDIA. You got your play in SMCI, which I think is another runaway freight train. I think that thing is crazy as well. Y'all know that. I'm a NVIDIA guy, but I'm telling you, that SMCI, don't sleep on it. It's a monster too, right? It's a monster. You're talking about King Kong and Godzilla teaming up in them two. You got King Kong and you got Godzilla. They're on the same team. So keep them, but then I would diversify and go into me a different basket. I would go into ETFs. That way I'm not concentrated just in these two behemoths, future behemoths, okay? They're going there. Like I said, Godzilla, King Kong, all day long. Godzilla, King Kong, right? So that's what I would do, Mopar. I would fund the IRA, the Roth IRA. I would probably put that into ETFs. I would probably go with a S&P 500 ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. And then find you another sector, maybe healthcare. I keep telling y'all, healthcare, don't sleep on healthcare. Healthcare is a good one. Tech is a good one. But I think these two right here, see, for a guy like me, NVIDIA and SMCI would be an outlier. That wouldn't be my main source of building wealth. It would be more of a secondary. It would be more of reserve money I'm putting in there, because I can't gamble on my entire pot of gold at the end of the rainbow in just two stocks. I never know what's going to happen to the tech market. I got to be more diversified than that. Obviously in growth, but I got to be more diversified. So for me, it's 50, 30, 20. 50% of the money that I invest goes into a broad-based stock market ETF like the S&P 500. It's broad-based, every sector, every industry, not just tech. It has every sector, every industry represented in the S&P. So if tech has a bad year, I got 11 other industries that could hit it out of the park. That's my broad-based stock market ETF. That's 50% of my money. 30% of my money goes into a sector ETF like tech, healthcare, and then 20% goes into individual stocks. So 80% of my money is always protected with diversification but growth. 20% is consolidated, concentrated in big boy behemoths, right? I think you hit a home run in 10 years, but I'm a little bit risk adverse to having all of my eggs into just two tech companies. And I'm not saying you're doing that, Mopar. I'm just saying be careful. Use the tech companies as additional money that I'm just trying to, but always protect yourself with the broad-based ETFs where you're not the expert. You're the expert with individual stocks. You're not the expert with ETFs. You have a proven system with ETFs backing you up. You're not the expert. It's a passive investment. When you're picking individual stocks, you are an active investor. You pick winners and losers. You're on the hook. I don't like that. I like 80% of my money passive, protected, big boy ETFs, diversified but growth. And over here, I like 20% of my money where I'm the expert, where I got to pick the winners and losers. And if you look at history, history tells us you will not outperform the S&P. That's what history says over a 10-year block. Now, I think with these two, you got a shot. Don't get me wrong, I'm in there with you, but I'm just not putting 80% of my money in there. I'm putting 20%. 80% over here where I don't got to be the expert. So hopefully that answers your question, Mopar. Well, let's keep moving. Let's see what else we got in here. Got some super chats coming in. We have Jermaine Lewis. Thank you, Jermaine, for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you rocking with me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's keep moving, see what else we got in here. Let me see here. I thought I had one more. Yeah, I do. I got one right here from, let's see. We got one for Jermaine. Again, thank you again, Jermaine, for the super chat. Let's see. It's Richard. Can you tell me your thoughts? I don't know that. Your thoughts on Iran and Israel. Sorry for the repeated question. This was my first at super chat. Okay. Well, here's the thing, guys. I I don't really get into that. I just know there are things that go on in our world that I have no control over, right? I have no control over. My heart and my sympathies go out to all people in this world. But I do know this, from the beginning of time, there's always been conflict all over this world. I don't care who go back 10,000 years, go back 5,000 years, go back 2,000 years. There's always been conflict. Fast forward to today, conflict all around the world, right? In the future, guess what? More conflict. That's just a part of being on this planet. When you put people together who have different beliefs, no matter what those beliefs are, nobody's saying nobody's right or wrong, but that's what you get. You're going to get conflict, right? So my job as a human being is to try and control what I can control. That's it. See, I can't control conflicts around the world. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean I can't feel sympathetic one way or the other or have my opinion, but ultimately I can't affect what happens around the world. All I can affect is what's in my ability to control, which is me. That's all I can control. I can't control my next door neighbor. I can't control my family members. I can control me. I can control what I do with my life, right? That's all I can do, man. I can't distract myself worrying about things that I have no control over. What I really need to be paying attention to is what do I have control over, how I live my life, what I believe in. That's all I can do. I can't worry about this rest of this stuff that's going on, man, because trust me, long after you and I are gone, that conflict, these conflicts gonna always be there, man. That's just human nature. That's human nature. Everybody believes what they believe, and they're gonna do that till the ends of time. So I can't worry about that. All I can do is say, okay, here's what I can control. Here's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna leave it to those folks to work it out on their own. That's all I can do. So hopefully that answers your question, Jermaine. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you rocking with me. So thank you, thank you. So we got another super chat here. Let's go ahead and get these super chats going. Like I said, guys, if you got a question, I'm here to answer them, but you got to come through super chat, and then you're there, right? This thing is a two-way street here, guys, right? Two-way street. So here we go. Tyler. Oh, I'm sorry, not Tyler. Tahir. Appreciate the super chat, Tahir. Let's see what you got going on here. Do you think we African Americans ever break out the dysfunction and matrix, potentially be the leaders in wealth? That's a great question, Tahir. Great question. And thank you for asking it. Again, just like I told Jermaine, I'm an African American. But even being an African American and wanting African Americans to do well is okay. But the truth of the matter is I can't control that. Only thing I can control is me, right? Now, collectively, as a people, if we want to get our financial situation right and get ourselves off the bottom of the financial totem pole, I think we can. But unfortunately, we as a people have to decide that. I can't decide that for them. We collectively, or any group of people collectively, have to decide that. We got some things working against us, right? We got a late start. We got a late start. That's historically proven. We had some things in our past that put us behind the 8 ball. We had redlining. We had slavery, right? We had the Jim Crow laws. So we had a lot of things that put us behind the 8 ball. But here's what I say. In today's United States, not 100 years ago, but today, today's United States, there's no reason no group of people No individual person can build wealth. There's nobody stopping you but you. So in today's environment, yes, we're behind the 8 ball, but in today's environment, if we look at African Americans and we look at what's important to us, to me, it seems like things are more important to us than financial freedom. It seems like things are more important to us. We can't wait to get in that line at Louis Vuitton if we get a little money in our hand. We can't wait to go partying and doing all this other stuff. We get a little money in our hand. We can't wait to do all kind of financial things that don't build wealth. That is what we got to change. See, nobody can tell me we ain't got the money, because we're going to spend in 2024, we're going to spend almost $2 trillion. I'm talking about African Americans. We're going to spend almost $2 trillion on stuff. That's a lot of money right here. A lot. So it ain't a money problem, because you don't spend $2 trillion as a group of people and you got money problems. It's not a money problem. It's a what we spend our money on problem. That's what it is. It's not a money problem. You don't have $2 trillion to spend as a group of people and then say you got a money problem. No, you don't. You ain't got no money problem. You got a how you spend your money problem. We change that, we get ourselves off the bottom of that financial totem pole. Period. That's up to us though, because we ain't got no money problem. Oh no. There ain't but one group of people ahead of us when it comes to spending money in this country. And what that group of people spend their money on is different than what we spend ours on. See, that group of people spend their money on investments. We spend our money on things that don't put no money in our pocket. It just takes money out of our pocket. That's our problem. How do we get out of that problem? I have no idea. That's above my pay grade. My job is to try and educate people through my experience, and hopefully some folks will take heed and change some things. But we ain't got no money problem. We got a what we do with our money problem. We can change that. We go up the list. Right now, we're at the bottom. Dead last. Dead last at the bottom. And that's because we spend our money on things that don't create wealth. We spend our money on Gucci handbags and going out to eat and all this other stuff, fancy cars. And look at the people who we look up to. Look at the athletes. Look at the entertainers. Look at these people that we envy and look up to. What do they spend their money on? Do you ever hear any of them talk about building wealth and delay gratification and don't do this in any of their little stuff, any of their little rap songs, any of them? None. You don't hear nobody talk about that. All you hear them talking about is this and that and this, F this and H that and D this and these are the people we're looking up to. So until we change that, until our leaders, until our people we look up to start giving us better feedback, better learning experiences, better messages, I don't know, man. We in trouble. That's why for me, I concentrate on me. I'm going to control what I can control, which is my effort and my attitude. That's what I can do. I can control me trying to help people on this YouTube channel by giving financial nuggets and dropping financial breadcrumbs that people can follow, sharing my blueprint. I don't have to share my blueprint. I ain't got to be telling everybody what I'm doing. I can still do YouTube and don't do none of that. But I do it because that's what I can control. I can't control what some dude on this rap song saying. That ain't gonna change. Why? Because that's the industry. See, the 1% got those folks. See, that's the thing about us. The 1% will control us. They'll control us with money. They'll control us with money because we haven't learned how to create wealth that we can pass on. What we do is we get wealth, right? We get wealth from them, but we turn around and give it right back to them. We got to change that. We got to change that, right? And how do we change it? It starts with you and I. That's how we change it. You can't worry about the celebrities. Can't worry about the rap artists. Can't worry about them guys and gals. They gone. They gone. Just write them off. What we can start with is you and I in our home, taking our kids, taking our relatives, and teaching them the real meaning of wealth. Not this, what's in the rap song. That ain't the real meaning of wealth. The real meaning of wealth is what I told you earlier on. That's passing on assets that generate income, protect the principal, live on the interest, and just pass it on for generations. There are groups of people in this country that do that. They do it. And that's why they control 60% of the wealth. They don't control 60% of the wealth because they make more money than us. They control 60% of the wealth because what they do with their money. That's how they control 60% of the wealth. We spend $2 trillion. We do not have a money problem. We have a spending problem. We correct that. We get ourselves off the bottom of this financial totem pole. Hopefully that answers your question, Tahir. Let's move on. Let's move on. And Anton, thank you for the super chat, Anton. Let me see here. I got you in here, but you disappeared on me. Anton, appreciate the super chat. Let me make sure I ain't missed nobody now. Okay, there we go. Anton, appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate you rocking with me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let's keep rolling. We got some more super chats in here somewhere. I know I saw them. I just done skipped some of them. Oh, there they go. We got quite a few in here. So let me get these answered, and then we're gonna keep rolling. Marissa, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you rocking with your boy. I appreciate you. Here we go. I have recently inherited 2 properties. What is the first step to make them into rentals? Well, okay, you've inherited 2 properties. First thing I want to do is make sure they are rentable, right? I want to make sure they're rentable. They have to be livable, right? So if they're rentable and livable, that means running water, working lights, a roof that don't have a whole bunch of holes in it. You know what I'm saying? Running water, good electrical, good foundation, ready to rent, ready to live in. That's the number one thing. I got to make sure it's ready to live in. Because see, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. This is how you build wealth. Be good to your tenants. Make sure you provide them with good, sound housing, right? Don't cut corners. Oh, golly, I'm not going to fix that. I'm just going to get the rent and be greedy. You're not going to keep tenants. Or they're going to go AWOL on you and have a mutiny against you and not pay you. So make sure the first thing you do is make sure that property is inhabitable. It's livable. You go in and fix the thing. I'm not saying go in and put in new, you got plantation shutters and all this. Nah, you ain't gonna do all that crap. You just got to make sure it's livable. Would you live in it? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Would I live in this property? And if it's yes, you're good to go. If it's no, fix it up so people can live in there, right? That's number one. Second thing I want to do, I want to figure out in that market, what are the rental rates? What should I be charging for rent? And that's easy to find out. There are a lot of free services online that you can find out exactly what that area is renting for. You can go to somewhere like rentometer.com. You can go to Zillow. You can go to Redfin. You can go to a lot of sites that'll tell you exactly what the average rental rate in that market is. You can also go to a real estate company that specializes in renting properties for people, and they'll tell you exactly what the rental rate is. So once you get the rental rate, one of the little tips that I used to do to make sure I stayed in the front of the rental tenant game, I would always have my rental income my rental rate slightly lower than what the market. So if the market said, hey, Richard, $1,500 a month, I'd list mine at $1,425. I'd give up the $75. I wanted to get that thing rented. I wanted to get a good tenant in it. Next thing you got to do, you find out the rental rate. Okay, first, home's inhabitable. I fix not Mac Daddy fix up. Long as I can live in it, I'm okay with it. So not Mac Daddy, just go in and only do the necessary things to put a tenant in it. Nothing Mac Daddy. Oh golly, I'm gonna put what I would need in here to live in it. No, that ain't what you want to do. You want to put things in it that are basic things for the neighborhood. I don't need a Mac Daddy rental property if the neighborhood ain't Mac Daddy, right? So get it inhabitable, figure out what your rental rate is, and then do what? Find you a tenant. You got to screen these tenants. Don't get greedy. Screen the tenants. It's going to save you a lot of problems in the future. Screen the tenants. And what do I mean by that? Income verification, credit check, background check. You don't want to skimp on these three things and make them pay for it. That's part of the rental application. Okay, give me $75. Part of your rental application is I got to screen you. You're going to sign down here and say I can do it. Or I'm not renting my property to you. Period. Don't get so greedy, guys, where we cut corners. Oh, I just want the $14.50 a month. I don't care. Just put anybody. Okay. It don't come up. It don't catch up to you till it catch up to you. So this is what I do. Inhabitable, rental rate, screen me a good tenant, right? Get me a good tenant in there, sign a real lease, get you a first, last, and security deposit. You heard me? And then number 4, take care of the tenant. When something needs fixing, get over there and get it fixed. And then duplicate the process. Build you a nice real estate portfolio. That's it. That's what I would do, Maritza. That's what I would do. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's keep rolling. Soul Sports. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you rocking with me. Here's the question. I'm rocking with you for the next 10 years. I started investing $250 a week in SPLG. Let's get this wealth. Let's get it. I keep telling y'all, this is guaranteed wealth, man. This is easy money. In my opinion, y'all might disagree, but I think it's easy money. Let's do a little exercise. I just want to see what my man is doing here. Let me rock with this. Oh, that's about what, $1,000 a month? Okay, what was that? $250,000 a month. Here we go. $1,000 a month, SPLG. 10 years, 8% rate of return. Let's see what my man gonna be looking like in 10 years. Minimum now, this is minimum. I think we get better than an 8% return, but I'm trying to be conservative here. I think we get better than that. Because guess what? The last 10 years, we got like a 12% return. See, I think we get better than an 8, but let's be conservative. So my guy gonna have about 200 grand. You're gonna have about 200 grand at an 8%. Let's say if we do 10. Yeah, about 225. Yeah, so that's a nice little nest egg. $250 a week, $1,000 a month for the next 10 years, SPLG, broad-based stock market ETF. In 10 years, I'm gonna have a couple $100,000 in my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's just one investment. Now, if he really wanted to pour gasoline on this thing, guess what I would do? Create me some side hustles and I go $500 a week. Now I got $500,000 in 10 years. See, if I want to pour gasoline on this thing, all I got to do is add another $250 a week. All I got to do. And how do I do that? Side hustles. Side hustles. Give up something in the short term to get everything I want in the long term. Give up something. Give up something now that ain't producing no income and add income. That's what I would do. Let's say if I did that, now what am I doing? Now I'm doing $2,000 a month. Now I'm doing $2,000 a month for the next 10 years. Let's see what I add. $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year. Let's see what I'm doing. Let's see what I will have in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Yeah, how about $500,000? So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. 400,000, half a mil, I'm okay with that. So I think you're doing the right thing. So sports, all I can tell you is double down. Keep increasing it. Don't just do the 250. I know that's a start, but my goal is 500, 750, 1,000. Let me just keep leveling up. The more I level up over that 10 years, the more I got in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's all I'm saying. But kudos to you starting out with the 250. Even if you stayed there, you still got a couple $100,000 in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Let's move on to the next super chat, which is the Walla Mala, maybe from Canada. The Walla Mala. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Let's get to your question. Feds will not reduce in summer, causing stocks to bush and turn red. Okay. Do you believe Feds will drop rates in the fall, September, for electoral factors? You know something? I don't really care what they do. If y'all rock with me and follow me, y'all know I'm gonna build wealth anyways. I don't care if they reduce them, keep them high, don't matter. I'm gonna build wealth. See, here's the thing, guys. I keep telling y'all. That's why you gotta be in the market 365 days a year, and you gotta keep DCAing, because it don't matter. If they don't reduce, guess what's gonna happen? Assets are gonna go cheaper, and I'm gonna gobble them up at a discount, just like I did in 2022. And guess what? Very next year, what did I do? I made out like a fat rat. Why? Because I gobbled up assets at a discount that I knew were gonna go back up. I keep telling y'all think the stock market thing just happened yesterday. It's been around for 100 years. And it do the same thing for 100 years. At some point, we got to get smart enough to understand the cycles. I don't care what they do. Doesn't matter. If they reduce them, I keep buying because the assets go higher. So I'm still buying them today at a discount, even if they reduce, because they go to the moon. If they don't reduce and keep them higher for longer and they go down in value, I buy more. At some point, they go up in value, I get rich. Both ways I get rich, as long as I have patience. I don't care what they do. Now, yes, I report on it because that's what I do on my YouTube channel, so you guys understand what's happening with the Fed, what's happening with rates, what's happening with the economy. But at the end of the day, what do I always tell you? It doesn't matter. Invest anyways, you build wealth, right? Just invest anyways and have a 10-year block. You will build wealth. That's where the guaranteed wealth thing comes in, guys. When I make these titles for these videos, I be dead serious. See, but you got to understand the psychology of the stock market in order to make it work. If you understand the psychology, you're not worried about that. See, only people that are worried about that who don't understand the psychology of the stock market, who don't understand the psychology of buying assets. All I'm telling you, man, I mean, if that's what you want to worry about it. But I wouldn't worry about that. I just keep buying. Keep buying no matter what. If I buy them today and the Fed reduce rates, guess what happens to those assets? They go to the moon. Rates come down, stock market goes up. Rates come down, assets go up, guys. That's the history. That's not me telling you that. That's history. Rates stay higher for longer, enthusiasm fades away, big boy investors leave the market, assets go down, I buy more. Because guess what? They going to the moon at some point in the future. How do you know that? I did it in 2008. Whole world came to an end, according to some people. Guess what I was doing? Buying real estate for the cheap. Buying paper assets for the cheap. Started that in 2008, kept doing that all the way to 2019. Tripled my net worth. Because guess what happened to those assets, those real estate properties, those paper assets in big boy blue chip companies? They started going back up in value. 2009, 2010, 2012, 2015, 2018, they just kept going up in value. And I just kept building the net worth. 2022, same thing. Sharp decline in paper assets. What do? All in. Made a bunch of money in 23. Tail end of 23, market went on fire. Made a bunch of money. What am I doing right now? Even at all-time highs, what am I doing? Buying as much as I can. Oh my God, aren't you gonna lose a lot of money if they go down? Nope, I buy more. At some point in these next 10 years, they're going to the moon. That's where I create my net worth. That's why I tell y'all patience is the key. Consistency, discipline, and patience. If you just do that, you're Gucci. You're guaranteed wealth. I'm telling you. Okay, so that's the deal. Hopefully that answered your question. The Walla Mala, and I'm probably pronouncing that all wrong, but you know who you are. Jerry, appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Over here in Hawaii. Man, come on, man. That's one of my favorite places in the world. Jerry, Hawaii. I can remember, man, just as a little sidebar, I can remember my dad was in the military and he was stationed in Honolulu, Schofield Barracks. And I can remember as a 5-year-old, this was back in the day now, I can remember as a 5-year-old, my mom would walk me and let me go down this big old hill, this big old, like, down, it was a road, but it was like a going down and it would come up and then the school was on the other side. And I can just remember as a 5-year-old how beautiful that was. Those mountains and the scenery. And even I'm 56 years old, I still remember that. And the last time I was in Hawaii, it was in 86 was the last time I was in Hawaii. And I was 18 at that time. I was playing at the University of Florida and we was in a bowl game over there, an Aloha Bowl. And that was the last time. But I've always said to myself, Richard, you got to get back to Hawaii, man. You got to spend more time there. So, hey, man, Jerry, you're in paradise. I'm coming. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Let's keep rolling here. Anything we got? What else we got in here? Super chats. Let's see if I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. And then we'll keep rolling, guys. Okay, so super chats, I think I'm all caught up. So here's the thing. Guaranteed wealth. Can that happen for you? Yes. Guaranteed wealth. What's the most important thing to build wealth, guys? Income. How do you guarantee wealth? Get your income up. Second most important thing to build wealth is what? What you do with that income. Those two things right there, guys, income and then what you do with it will determine if you build wealth or not. That's it. Oh, I only make $50,000 a year and build wealth anyways, right? It ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep. Listen, man, there are people out there make $1 million a year and don't keep none of it. They got a lot of things now. They got a lot of things. They got no wealth. They got no wealth. They got a lot of things, but they got no wealth. Give me somebody making $50,000 a year that has a good behavior with money and is taking a couple $100, $500, $1,000 a month and putting it in something, and they do that long enough, they're going to have wealth. So behavior with money, your behavior with money has a lot to do with if you build wealth or not. If you got a raggedy behavior with money, you probably don't build wealth. If you had a good behavior with money, you build wealth, right? See, good behavior with money means you're living on less than what you make. I don't care if it's $50,000 a year. The average family in America makes about $75,000 a year. And guess what? They can build wealth. The key is you got to live below your means. If I'm only making 75, there's no reason why I should have a $500 a month car payment. Shouldn't have it. Shouldn't have it. There's no reason I should have credit card debt. Shouldn't have it. Shouldn't have it. Shouldn't have it, guys. If I'm making $75,000 a year, I have to live below my means. Okay, that means, yeah, I may have to give up some of the niceties. I may have to give up some of the unnecessaries. I got to give up some of those things. But then on the back end, when I got all this wealth, I can go have some of those things because the wealth will pay for it. right? So all I'm telling you, number one tool to build wealth, income. Second tool to build wealth, what you do with that income. Third tool to build wealth is mindset, right? Those three things, that's it. Mindset, income, what you do with that income, and then the last one is what? Investing. Right, so let's move on. We got a couple super chats in here, so let's knock these out. Make sure I don't got anything up here. Here we go. We got one from Ty here, a second one from Ty here. Appreciate you, Ty here, man, rocking with me. You strong in here, bro. I appreciate you. You strong. You got to hit me up sometime, man. Hit me up on, and you might have, but I guarantee you, hit me up. Give me a DM, man. I appreciate you supporting me, and I'm going to support you. So hit me up on DM on Instagram. Instagram link down in the description box for all you other cats out there and ladies, all you kings and queens that want to rock with me and follow me on Instagram. Go down to that Instagram link in the description box of this video. Click on that link, Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor. Come rock with me. Send me a DM. Let me know you're rocking with me, and I appreciate you for that. But Ty here, hit me up, man. Email me or DM me. But let's get to your question. And appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you rocking with me and supporting me. Thank you. Richard, I'm 21 in college, student athlete, track and field, St. Joseph's University with 40K in paper assets. I have a 2013 41 DJ Rolex, stainless steel and gold. Should I sell and invest in market goes lower? Absolutely. Absolutely. Get rid of it. Get that cash and put it in something that's going to triple it, quadruple it, whatever's after that. That's all I know. Quadruple it, but whatever comes after that, yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Listen, man, you're in the building stage of wealth. And unless that thing gonna produce some income for you, it's not an asset. I keep telling y'all, assets produce income. If it ain't producing no income, it ain't an asset, period. Just saying. Me, get rid of it. Get rid of it. So you got to understand, guys, I owned a lot of Rolexes over the years. I'm talking about hundreds of them and sold hundreds of them. But see, I sold them. I would buy them 10, 15, 20 at a time. And then I turn around and flip them online. Making 100K a year, flipping watches. Wore them, enjoyed them, but I was making money. I didn't have no 40 of them just sitting in a vault somewhere looking at them and saying, oh, look at me. No, I would buy them, enjoy them, but while I was enjoying them, they were up for sale. And when they sold, whoop, take this one off, put it in the box, send it on to its new owner, let's go get another 20. That's what I did for 15 years. So I don't care about Rolex watches. I don't care. Listen, if I can't make no money with it, what good is it? When I'm in the building stage of wealth. It's one thing if I'm a fat rat and I'm in the enjoyment stage of wealth and I'm a fat rat and I got a lot of money and I want to just go splurge. Fine. You're rich already. You're wealthy. That's what you're supposed to do. Enjoy yourself. But when I'm in the building stage of wealth as a 21-year-old, do you know what you could do with whatever that date justice, I don't know what the price of it is. Man, let's just say it's $10,000. Let's just say it's $10,000. Let's say that thing is worth $10,000 right now. You put it in something, you get an 8% rate of return over the next 20 years. Let's see what you and again, guys, he's 21. Oh, golly, 20 years. He's 40. Jeez, have some patience. He's 40, right? He's 40. He'll be 40 years old. Let's just see what this thing would be worth. Let's just see. Just a quick little one, I think. Yeah. He'll take that 10,000 watch and turn it into 50. I don't know. For me, I can't beat that. He's 40 years old. Take the 10,000, turn it into. It may be worth more than that. It may. I told y'all what? 4 times? What's that? Quadruple? 4 times? I said that. I said he could quadruple his money, which he would. He'd have about 50 grand. Just take the 10,000, sell that thing, put it in something to get 8% S&P and forget about it till you're 40. You have 50 grand in there. You quadruple. I guarantee you in 10 years or 20 years, that date just won't be worth 50 grand. It'll still be probably more than 10,000, but it won't be worth 50. So I would sell it, put it in something that's going to quadruple it over the next 20 years. And guess what? If you want to, and you like watches and you like buying these luxury watches, keep buying them, but just flip them. And then take the profits, put it in that investment, and go and build wealth, man. You're a young guy. Nothing wrong with liking nice things, but take those nice things. Don't own them. Use them, but flip them. That's all you got to do. If you like Rolex and you like that game and you got good contacts and you're a hustler and you know how to, I did it. I taught myself how to do it. Because I told you I've owned hundreds of them things. All types, hundreds. Sold them all and made a bunch of money, making $100K a year, man, flipping these luxury watches. You can do that, Ty, here if you want to. Like I said, hit me up, man. I'll send you a couple of my videos that might help you out. There may be a space you can get in and make something happen. Appreciate the super chat. Let me see what we got here. I love this handle right here, Roman Empire. I love ancient Rome. That's one of my favorite things to study, to watch is ancient Rome. So appreciate the super chat, Roman Empire. Good morning, sir. I have 22 shares of Microsoft that I purchased at $360. Should I sell that for SPLG or keep it and invest future funds to SPLG and NVIDIA? Bingo. Listen, man. Let me just give you a little FYI. Microsoft is the #1 value company in the world. Microsoft is. Higher than Apple, higher than NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA gonna knock them off at some point, but right now they're the #1 valued company from a market cap standpoint in the world. 3-point-something trillion market cap. No other. Listen, their market cap, just Microsoft, is probably larger than a lot of countries. When you add up all of those countries' companies, it don't reach the market cap of Microsoft. Saying that, you guys know we got this AI revolution happening. It's going to happen. Microsoft, I believe, is a big player in that to some extent. I say, if it's me, and again, I'm not your financial advisor, I'm no expert here, but if it's me, I keep Microsoft. And then I diversify into SPLG and NVIDIA. But I keep Microsoft. And if I get a little bit extra, maybe I keep buying a little bit of Microsoft. But if I'm good with my 22 shares, I say keep them. I say 10 years from now, Microsoft is worth more 10 years from now than they are today. So I say your 22 shares are worth more than they are today. So I keep them. Matter of fact, I keep adding to them. I take Microsoft and I take NVIDIA as my individual stocks. I take SPLG as my broad-based stock market ETF. So maybe I go 70 or may I go 60-40. Depends on how you think about those two companies. May I go 60% SPLG, 40% NVIDIA and Microsoft. Or I go, you know what I'm saying? Get the broad-based stock market ETF in there. But I think you got some heavyweights over here, man. You got some heavyweights. That's just my opinion. You do what you feel like you need to do. It's your financial freedom. But if it was me, I go SPLG 60, 70, 80. Other 20, 30%, I go in those two, NVIDIA, and I keep doubling down on Microsoft. Microsoft, the most valuable company in the world. I can't go against them. I can't. Not right now. I can't. I think they're more valuable in 10 years. The key though is long term. Don't play the short game, play the long game. If you play the long game, if you do this consistently for 10 years, I think you guarantee yourself wealth. That's my opinion. But you got to go long. You can't go short. You got to go long. That's what I keep telling you guys. The key to this thing is going long consistently. Go long consistently. Here's the thing you got to ask yourself. Is Microsoft worth more today than they were 10 years ago? Is NVIDIA worth more today than they were 10 years ago? Is SPLG worth more today than they were 10 years ago? That's all you got to ask yourself, guys. This is not rocket science. I guarantee you Microsoft is more valuable today than they were 10 years ago. I guarantee you NVIDIA is more valuable today than they were 10 years ago. I guarantee you SPLG is more valuable today than they were 10 years ago. So what do you think they're going to do in the next 10 years? All big boy blue chip. This ain't rocket science, guys. You just got to go long, though. See, a lot of us don't want to go long. We want to short it. We want to be a little shorty. We want to be a shorty. Oh, I've been in there a week. I ain't rich yet. See, that's what most of us do. But we're programmed that way. We're programmed that way since birth, right? We're programmed to be short. We ain't programmed to be long. They don't want us long. That's going to affect their pocketbook if we long. They want us short. They want us short because they don't want their pocketbook affected. Come on, man. So that's what I would do, Roman Empire. Love that. Ooh, I love that handle. Love it. All right. Any more super chats in here before we? Oh, well, yeah, we got a couple more here. Got some more. Let me find them. All right, none of y'all in here and acting up in here, are you? Again, guys, don't fall for none of this stuff in this chat. Don't let the, if we got any, don't fall for none of this stuff in this chat now. Because I see a couple of little hashtags and little ats and all that little stuff. Problem is, he ain't you. I love when people try to get in your chat and be the expert. Won't go create their own channel and be the expert. They're going to come in your chat and then they want to be the official expert in the chat. Won't create their own channel and be the expert. They come to your channel and your chat to be the expert. Jeez, boy, y'all folks are something else, boy. Woo, we something else, aren't we? Okay, Mike Menace, appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat. Is expensive health care a risk when retiring? It can be, but you know the government got some programs that kind of help the elderly out, right? They got programs, and I don't know what Medicaid, Medicare, something like that. They got some stuff that helps you out, that subsidizes, but it can be expensive because they don't pay for everything, right? They're going to subsidize your health care as an older American because that's just a way of saying thank you for all your service, thank you for making us rich, thank you for, thank you for taking your money and spending it to make us rich. So they're going to give you some programs like that because they want you dependent on them, right? So they're going to give you some programs, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all this little stuff. They're going to give you that because they want you to be on the treadmill, the hamster wheel, the rat race for 50 years. So they got to give you something at the end of that 50 years, right? So yeah, is it going to be expensive? Yeah, it probably will. That's why you got to build wealth. They're not going to take care of the whole bill now. They're going to give you some subsidies. Like I said, you worked for 50 years. You kept them rich. They're going to give you something. It just ain't going to be enough. So you got to build wealth. So yes, healthcare going to be more expensive in 10 years than it is today. That's just the way, that's how it works. This stuff ain't getting no cheaper, guys. This stuff getting more expensive. Fruit ain't getting no cheaper. Eggs ain't getting no cheaper. Gas might fall down a little bit, but I guarantee you gas is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. I guarantee you eggs are more expensive today than they were 10 years ago. I guarantee you a loaf of bread is more expensive today than they were 10 years ago. I guarantee you a home is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. I guarantee you a car is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. Guarantee your health care is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. What do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? It's going to get more expensive. That's why you got to protect yourself and build wealth. Because we keep telling y'all that. You got to protect yourself against this. This stuff ain't coming down. Oh, I can't wait till bread comes down to $1.75 again. That ain't going to happen. Have you seen bread? You can go in there and buy bread. The bread costs $6 for a loaf of bread. Now, I'm talking about the so-called healthy bread. The bread I buy, they say it's healthy. That's what they got on the thing. The thing says healthy. So that's what I buy, the $6 bread. Think they're gonna get cheaper? No, probably be $12 a loaf in 10 years. Just telling y'all, man, you better build wealth to protect yourself. That's all I'm saying, Mike. Build you some wealth, man. Build you some wealth, and guess what? If they give me a little more, great. But at least I'm protected. Please, healthcare is going to be more expensive in 10 years. I promise you. Promise you. Because it was more expensive now than it was 10 years ago. So here we go. We got Willie Anderson with a super chat. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate you rocking with me. Let's see what you got here. When you mention blueprint to building wealth, are you speaking on company issues, 401k plan, or separate? I do about 22K each year into the company. That's okay. That's okay. When I'm talking about building wealth, I'm talking about putting money in vehicles that multiply for you. A lot of my wealth was built in 401ks, Willie. A lot of my wealth was done through 401ks. Every bank I worked for, I would participate in the 401k program. They would match. Okay, Richard, you put in 6%, we're gonna put in 6%. I took advantage of that. But I didn't stop there in just 401ks. That was part of the nest egg. Then I said to myself, okay, I got some more money over here. I can't put it in the 401k because I got restrictions on how much I can put in there. So I got the 401k. Let me open me a Roth IRA. Okay, I'm gonna put the max in the Roth IRA every year. And at the time, I believe it was $6,000. Now it was probably less than that, but whatever it is, they jack it up every year, right? So whatever the limit was, I put it in. So now I got the 401ks, I got the Roth, and then I got the taxable brokerage account. The taxable brokerage account, everything else goes in. So whatever I put in the 401k is capped. Whatever I put in the Roth is capped. Those are retirement vehicles. And then I got a taxable brokerage account, which is not it's a retirement vehicle, but not by the government. There's no special treatment. On these two, I got special treatment, right? The special treatment is on the 401k, it's pre-tax dollars. That means I pay no taxes on the dollars when it's invested up front. I pay taxes on it when I take it out later on down the road. That's pre-tax. I got the Roth IRA, which they call post-tax. I've already been taxed on that money. I put it in the Roth. It grows tax-free. So down the road, I pay no more taxes. I've already paid the taxes. I pay no taxes on the growth. On the 401k, since it's pre-tax, I pay taxes on the growth down the road when I need the money. So I got pre-tax, post-tax, and then I got the taxable. As long as I keep the money in the investment, keep rolling it, I don't pay no taxes on gains other than my dividends, right? Even though I reinvest the dividends, I still get a little 1099 for them dividends. Even though I don't use them, I get a 1099. But it's, the tax treatment is different, right? So I got these three vehicles that I pour money into. Right now, the 401ks that I've rolled over to Vanguard, they sit there. I just rolled over 2 more last week. Liquidated them from wherever they were, and I rolled them over to Vanguard, and now they sit in the money. They're gonna sit in the money market till I'm ready to deploy them. It's a big chunk of money, so I'm taking my time. Now, the Roth, I keep funding. Just funded it a couple months ago for the full year, right? So I keep funding that. And then obviously the taxable brokerage account, which is Moo, right? Moo, Merrill Lynch, and Webull. Those are my 3 taxable brokerage accounts that I use every day, that I rock and roll with every single day, Moo being the primary. So if you're interested in Moo, get down in the description box and click on that Moo link. Open up a Moo account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. You're going to get Magnificent 7 stocks. So if you want to rock with me with Moo, get down in the description box. But that's the game plan. 401k, Roth, can't contribute to the 401ks like no more. They just rolled over and they sit as an IRA, and I just watch them grow. Roth, I contribute to every year, the maximum. I think I put $8 grand in it 2 months ago, maximum. I just put that in FTEC, let it ride. Don't worry about it for 10 years. Don't worry about the 401ks for 10 more years. The taxable brokerage account is where the rubber meets the road for me because that's where I'm overfunding right now. SPLG, broad-based stock market ETF, FTEC, information technology ETF, and then the Magnificent Seven. Those are the three. That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint for the taxable brokerage account. Because remember, the Roth, I fund one time. I don't dollar cost average into the Roth. I just put the money in and forget about it. Because that will be the first money that I will use when I get to the golden years. Why? Because it's tax-free. So I want that thing to just keep building. Get a $500,000, 750, whatever I can get in it. Let it build, but that's to be the first money I use in the golden years because it'll be tax-free. I've already paid the taxes on it. The growth is not taxable as long as I meet the requirements. 401k money will probably be next after that. And then obviously the taxable brokerage accounts, the three that I have money in those too. So yes, use all of that to get to what? Wealth. Now, when I get to wealth, let's say I get to wealth and I got this money over here. Now I'm ready to take the income. See, right now I'm not taking any income from the wealth. I'm reinvesting all of the income it generates back into buying more shares. I don't need the income. I got a high income skill set. I make a lot of money in my day job, if that's what you want to call it, right? I make a lot of money in my day job, so I don't need income from my investments right now. So I reinvest that income back into buying more investments. But let's say I get to some point 10 years from now, I'm ready to go to the Caribbean, buy my island, and live out the rest of my life. I don't want to make YouTube videos no more. I got this nest egg, bunch of money. Now I take that money and I go chase income. I go put it in income, real estate, just like I mentioned in the beginning of the chat. I go find me some real estate that I pay for free and clear, maybe an absolute net property to CVS or Walgreens or whoever, some credit tenant. I go find me a credit tenant with a long history of profitability. They give me a 20-year lease. I'm 66. 20 years is probably all I got. So I go get that. Absolute net, $350,000 a year. Absolute net comes to me. That's what I live on. See, this is how it works. And then guess what I do? I pass on, go to heaven, take that asset, guess where it goes? To my children. And guess what they do? They get the $350 in income every year. See, that's how it works, guys. This is what we're talking about, building generational wealth. Not all this goofy stuff. Oh, I'm going to pass down a Rolex. Oh, I'm going to pass down a Gucci handbag collection. That ain't going to make no income. That ain't going to make no income. But that real estate I buy, that I pass on to them, that absolute net real estate, where they get that check, that's a game changer, guys. So that's, hopefully that answers your question, Willie. You know, use that 401k, use that Roth, use that taxable. Oh, I forgot. I also got a simple IRA through the business that I'm funding. That thing has grown. I've been doing that for 4 years, and guys, it's been crazy. 4 years I've been funding that simple IRA. So I got the 401k rollovers, I got the Roth, I got the simple, and then I got the taxable. So I got 4 tranches that I'm investing in. No, and then of course I got the real estate, but it's not income producing. So I don't count that as an asset. Even though I got equity in the real estate, it produces no income. So I don't count that in my net worth. I don't count that in the net worth till I sell the property. Then I roll the cash into the net worth. But why it ain't producing no income for me, I don't count it in the net worth. So hopefully that answers your question, Willie. So back to what we talked about, guys. And then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So if you got super chats, you got questions, now's the time to hit them, guys. We're gonna probably get out of here. What time is it? Oh shoot. Okay. We're 94 minutes in. We're gonna probably get out of here at 12:30. So we're gonna give it 2 hours. So you got like 25 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up and get out of here. Oh, I got some more super chats here. Let me see here. Got about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So anybody that got super chats, my recommendation is go ahead and get them asked now or forever hold your peace. So here we go. Calvin, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for rocking with me, supporting me. Also, guys, hit that thumbs up for me. Before we got about 20 more minutes in here, but hit the thumbs up so we can get the count up. We got some decent amount of people in here. Not record breaking, but it's decent. I appreciate it. Anybody show up, one person show up, I appreciate it. So appreciate the almost 600 people in here. I appreciate you. But hit the like button for me if you appreciate the content and me being candid and open and sharing the stuff that I'm doing with you. Because that's the goal, right? I want to share with you guys what I'm doing. I ain't finna produce no receipts and all that stuff, but I will be straight up with you and tell you what I'm doing, just like I just did on my investments, right? So hopefully you'll appreciate that. But if you do, hit the thumbs up for me if you don't mind. So this notion of guaranteed wealth. We started off with the story about the acorn and that going and growing itself to a beautiful oak tree. That's the analogy I like to use when it comes to building wealth. It's that process. Because you don't plant that acorn and come out there in a week and expect to have a big old gigantic oak tree. Nah, it don't work that way, right? You plant that acorn, you water that thing, you take care of it, and then all of a sudden you get this little thing come out of the ground, this little thing come out of the ground. You water that thing, you see the weeds trying to take it over and struggle and strangle it. You get the weeds out of there. Might do a little fertilizer, keep watering it. Then all of a sudden that little thing starts to grow into a little baby tree. Not big enough. Good little wind come along or blow it down. So you protect it, you watch over it, you throw a little blanket over it in the wintertime or whatever. That's how we do in Florida because we don't really get no snow or nothing. We get a little chill. We go out and throw blankets over the plants. Like that's going to save them. We throw a little blanket over it until it starts growing. Then all of a sudden it gets to be a little teenager. A little stronger, got a little more roots. Roots done took hold down in the ground. And then all of a sudden, 10 years go by, 15 years go by. You go out there, you got a beautiful oak tree, plenty of sunshade, just a good place to go put a little swing on for the kids. Nice place to be able to just do a little barbecue back there. And you think about that 10 or 15 year time frame where you've seen this acorn turn into a massive, beautiful oak tree that you and the family are enjoying, and that as long as you own that property, family members next 100 years will enjoy that tree. See, that's the analogy I like to use with building wealth. We take that $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever your budget allows, and you plant a seed. You plant a seed and you keep watering that seed. And the water is an analogy to money, right? Money. You keep throwing money at that thing. Just like you would water the little plant. You're gonna water the investment. Keep throwing water at it. It'll keep growing. Like, okay, ain't no acorn no more. This thing got a little bit of, this thing starting to add a little bit of money to it. You forget about it. You keep on watering it. 5 years go by. You're like, oh shoot, a little teenage oak tree here. This little $500 I've been putting in and turned into $30,000, $40,000. Oh my goodness, this thing is okay. 5 years, 10 years go by. You go look at you've been diligent now. You've been watering this thing for 10 years. 10 years. You look at this thing and you're like, oh my God, this thing's 6 figures. This thing is 6 figures. Oh my goodness. This thing is 6 figures. I'm 10 years in, this thing's 6 figures. Keep watering it. Keep compounding. Keep compounding. All of a sudden you get to the 20-year mark. You got $500,000 in that thing. $750,000 in that thing. Debt-free. Good behavior with money. Right? Debt-free, good behavior with money. Now I got choices in my life. Now I can take that 500, 750, enjoy the income off of it, just like I enjoy that big old mature oak tree, out there doing barbecues and looking at what we've built. We do the same thing with our wealth. Look at this 750, just me being patient. This $750,000 I got in this nest egg, this $1 million I got in this next egg, this $2 million I got in this nest egg. How did I do that? Just patience, consistency, discipline. Same thing it took for you to do the oak tree, the acorn to the oak tree. Same thing, no different. Got to have discipline, got to have consistency, got to have patience. Same thing. Now all of a sudden you live your life on that 750, 1 million, whatever it is. I don't care what the number, you plug in the number. You live your life, get your income off of it. You get ready to go to glory. You pass that thing on to somebody. They do the same. That's what it's about, guys. It's about assets that generate income. That's the guaranteed wealth. If you follow that blueprint, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. 100-year track record in the market. I don't even know how long, real estate been around for 10,000 years. How can you go against real estate in the right location? How can you go against big boy blue chip paper assets? How can you go against building a business where you're solving problems with your solution for people? How do you go wrong with those three? That's the big three. Those are the big three. How do you go wrong with the big three? You can't. It's a done deal if you're long. Now, if you're short, who knows what'll happen? But if you're long, you can't go wrong with the big three. You can't go wrong with the big three. Let's see what we got in here. I think we had another super chat. At least I thought I saw one. Yep, here it is. DJ Eldorado. DJ Eldorado, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. What are 3 books on investing should we read? 3 books on investing. 3 books on investing. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't read books on investing. Never have. One book I've read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. That's it. I didn't need to read no books. Big 3. I don't need to read no books because, one, I don't need to be no expert. I need to focus on the big 3. If I focus on the big 3, I ain't got to read no books. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to go out and read books, read them. But I've always told you guys, knowledge does not trump execution. Knowledge does not trump taking action. We learn when we do. We ain't gonna learn nothing by reading. We learn when we actually get out there and do what we're trying to do. That's how you learn. Now, nothing wrong with reading something like Stock Market Investing for Beginners, Real Estate Investing for Beginners. Those are 2 books that you can go take a look at. The website's coming out on Monday. In that website, we're gonna have tons of ebooks, all centered around the things that I talk about on this channel. Those are good things to take a look at to get your footing. But at the end of the day, no book is going to hold your hand and get you to freedom. No book. It will give you some information, but you still got to take that information, collapse it down into usable actions. So we can read all we want. We can listen all we want. But if we don't take that information and collapse it down into usable actions that we can consistently execute day in and day out, you're wasting your time. You're just a person that reads a lot of books. So nothing wrong with the question. Perfect. I'm not the guy to ask about all these books because I don't read no books. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's it. Done. I don't need nothing else. I listened. You know how I learned everything I learned, guys? I listened more than I talked. I surrounded myself around people who were where I wanted to be. The clients that I worked with when I was in banking, these people were wealthy, they were rich. I listened more than I talked. My gang of 5 that are online right now. I got no gang of 5 that I know personally other than one. And that's Coach Prime. But when I'm with Coach Prime, guess what I do? I listen twice as much as I talk because he's where I want to be. See, when I'm around people who have built wealth and they got this thing down, I listen. I take notes. And then I collapse those notes into action. I don't read no books. I'm not saying you don't have to read books. I think books are great. But I'm more of an action guy. When I started flipping watches online, I didn't read no books about flipping watches. I just went online to the $1 trillion research lab, typed in how to flip watches, how to sell luxury watches online. That's what I typed in the $1 trillion research lab. Guess what came up? Bunch of information. Couple things that came up were these watch forums. Okay, let me try them out. I ain't never heard of no watch forum. Well, let me click on it. Clicked on those watch forums, signed up. And lo and behold, it was a whole community of guys and gals who owned watches and knew everything about every type of watch. And all I would do is I'd get into those chats and just listen to and look at what they were saying. And then I would pop a little question in every now and then, take that little piece of information and go execute. I didn't know nothing about flipping watches. Nothing. And just learned like that. I didn't read a book. I'm not saying you don't have to read books, guys. I'm just telling you, don't get caught up in this, oh, I got to read all these books before I can do anything. It's crap. You ain't got to read one book. All you got to do, get down there and open that Moo account, put you some money in it, and follow the blueprint. And do it for 10 years. That's all I can tell you. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I'm telling you, that's all you got to do. That's it. Follow the blueprint. The stock market has been around for 100 years. Follow the blueprint. Get down, open your brokerage account, put some money in it, and follow the blueprint. And guess what? I promise you, as you start following that blueprint, you will learn. And another thing, plug in. See, a lot of us don't want to plug in. I get messages all the time, guys, emails, DMs, and I know when people plugged in and when they ain't plugged in. Because the people that are plugged in, when they come to me with questions, it's about what they've seen on the videos. They might say, well, Richard, I heard this on the video. Could you clarify that? But when people come to me and they ask me questions that I know have been answered in the videos and they ain't watched them, I know right there that people ain't serious about doing what they need to do. You need to be plugged in. If you're going to listen to me and you're going to follow the blueprint, my recommendation is you find time to plug in. I'm just saying, find time to plug in. Find time to take an hour, hour and a half out of your day to plug in. That's all I'm saying. You do whatever you want to do. Go read all you want to read. Go listen to all you want to. I don't care what you do, guys. I don't care. Ain't nothing going to trump taking action. And see, we learn from doing. So if you want to sit around here and just read all these books and do all this other stuff and don't take no action, that's up to you. It's your life. It's your financial freedom. I'm telling you, open your brokerage account, put some money in it, follow the blueprint, and stay plugged in. All the education you need, in my opinion. But you go do what you got to do. I think it's all the education you need. So I appreciate the super chat. El Dorado, appreciate you. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see what else we got in here. We got some more super chats coming in, so I need to get these. DJ El Dorado, hopefully that answered your question. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, real estate investing for beginners, stock market investing for beginners. Get them all on Amazon. They're not gonna be on my website because I got my own stuff on my website. I ain't finna have no Rich Dad, Poor Dad on my website. I ain't having nobody else stuff on my website but mine. So if you want to rock with me, it's all ebooks, quick reads, 30, 40, 50 pages, and then go get it. That's it. It ain't none of this, oh, hold my hand and walk me through. Okay, you mentioned that right there, but break it down into simple. Nope. Grab that concept, go to the $1 trillion research lab. If you don't understand exactly what the concept is, it will break it down even more for you. And then from there, you know enough. You don't need to be an expert in DCA. You don't need to be an expert in dollar cost averaging. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be an expert in drip investing. You don't. Just do it. I don't need to be an expert in any of this stuff. I don't need to be an expert in the video. I don't need to be an expert in the S&P 500 ETF SPLG. I don't need to be an expert. All I need to know is performance, expense ratio, and history. That's it. I don't need to be no expert in it. I don't need to know everything in it. I don't need any of that. Tell me what it's done over the last 10 years. Okay, it's done this. Boom, put me in. I think it'll do it in another 10 years. That's it. You don't need to be an expert, guys. We got to get out of this expert stuff. It's going to keep us broke. Basil Champ, appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting and rocking with me. Let's see what we got here. What we got? We got about 4 minutes left, guys, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. I said I was going to get out of here at 12:30, and I think we're close. So we got about maybe 10, no, about 4 minutes left, I think. Yeah, about 4 minutes left, and then we're gonna end this thing. Well, okay, yeah, maybe 8 minutes. So Basil, let's see what you got here. Appreciate the super chat. Knowing you are going to have that boat plane on your island, hustling on your private island, love it. Yeah, you know me now. Come on now, ain't gonna be no cars. You gotta get to the island, plane or boat. So you know I'm gonna have something going on. I'm gonna have some income generated. You gotta believe that. Ain't no cars gonna be on the island, just golf carts. That's it, no cars. Plane, boat, that's it. Now, if the island too small for a plane, then you can boat. But it'll be my chartered boats, I can promise you that. Or third party that I get a little cut. It's gonna be something. I don't wanna own the boats, I just want a cut. So I'll partner with somebody. They can be the boat owner. I just want my cut. That's it. So you ain't never lied about that, Basil. Appreciate you though, man. Thank you for the super chat. I thought we had another. Yeah, we have another one in here. Mike C. Appreciate you, Mike C. Hello, Richard. Thanks again for sharing your wisdom. Hey, man, my pleasure. I appreciate you rocking with me and supporting me. And I love doing what I do. So thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, guys, we're getting ready to wind this thing down. So y'all know I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my last little bit. And then we're going to close this thing out and you guys enjoy your rest of your Sunday. Again, just a couple things before I get out of here. If you don't mind, get down to the description box, click on that Instagram link. Give me a follow on Instagram. We're trying to get the new page up with followers. We're trying to get this thing, going again, since we had the old page shut down. So if you don't mind and you want to rock with me and you want to see what I'm doing when I'm not on YouTube, I'll be putting more of my personal life and that type of content on the Instagram page. Go down to the description box, click on Millionaire Mentor, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link, and come follow me, and then give me a DM, send me a DM to let me know you're rocking with me so I can say thank you. Do me a favor, we're trying to get this page up and get it going again. So that'd be one of my asks of you guys, if you don't mind. Now, if you don't do the Instagram thing, that's okay. But if you do the Instagram thing and you're following all these other people, you might as well follow me. You rock with me, you might as well follow me too, right? I'm gonna give you this financial freedom stuff. The rest of that stuff, who knows what you're getting, but you know what you're gonna get from me, right? So please think about that. Website coming out on Monday, tomorrow, April 15th. We're launching the website. Again, it's not gonna be 100% complete, but it's a work in progress. We're gonna have the digital products on there. We're gonna have the ability for you to join the membership, and that membership is gonna be exclusive, right? Not a lot of people gonna be in there, just a handful of folk that you're gonna have every week, we'll meet that handful of people. It's not gonna be a live stream on YouTube. It's just gonna be an intimate meeting between us where a select group of y'all who wanna be members and have access to me outside of YouTube, right? Outside of YouTube, then that membership is gonna be there for you. And we're gonna do that once a week for a couple hours a week, every week. You're gonna have access to me to ask me questions about real estate. But when we talk about real estate, I want you to bring real life examples, right? Hey, Richard, I'm looking at this property in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's the workup on it. Let's walk through the cash flow. It's going to be those type of meetings. Hey, man, here's my stock portfolio. What do you think? What am I missing? And I'll give you my opinion. I'm no expert. I'm no CPA. I'm no CFP. But you guys know I've done this for 25 years on my own. So I can take a look at something and give you my opinion. Ultimately, it's your baby. Ain't my baby. It's your baby. I'm just telling you, hey, here's some things I would think about to do for your baby, right? And then we're going to talk a lot about businesses, because I think that's the one that we haven't covered a lot on the YouTube channel is businesses. And I know a lot of you guys and gals want to start businesses, whether side hustle businesses or traditional businesses. I can help you with that. So in that membership, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to have guests. I'm not going to have no guests on the YouTube channel live streams. But in that membership, I'm going to have guests, people who are where we want to be. I'm going to be having those types of people on there. One will be Coach Prime. I'm going to have him be able to come in from time to time just to give us, you know what I'm saying? Because I think what he's done and continues to do will be good information for us. So that's coming out Monday. So be prepared for that. The ebooks are critical because those are handpicked by me. I partner with someone and they're not my original designs, but they're handpicked by me. Right. And I wouldn't have them on my website unless they were handpicked by me, and they go hand in hand with what I've been talking about for the last 4 years. So that's coming. So be prepared for that. And we're going to be having additional things roll into the website as we learn, as we get feedback from you guys as well. We'll get feedback. You'll say, hey, Richard, I like this. I don't like that. How about this? Think about this. And if we get enough of that, we'll add it to the website. We're not going to just add something because one person said it. But if we get a multitude of people asking for the same thing, then we'll add it. We'll go find it and add it, right? It's just a resource for you. That's all it is. It's just a resource, right? So that's coming out. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. The link for that is going to be down in the description box starting tomorrow of all the future videos. You'll see it down there, right? You'll see it down there. Also, don't forget Moo. Description box. Go click on that Moo link. Get your Magnificent 7 fractional shares. You're going to get 7 of them, of the Magnificent 7. We talked a lot about NVIDIA in this live. We talked a lot about Microsoft in this live. Guess what? Those are the Magnificent 7, or at least 2 of the Magnificent 7. So you're going to get fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 when you sign up for Moo. You put $100 in your account. That's what they're going to give you. I know last month we had 5 free stocks for $100. We had 15 free stocks for $1,000, but they wasn't a Magnificent 7. So I think this offer is even better than last month's offer. So a lot of y'all, I know you signed up last month and you're rocking and rolling. Great. Here's the thing. Fractional share trading is on the Moo app. I'm going to do a new updated video to walk you guys through the fractional share trading soon. But for now, I got the regular video I can send you for Moo. And fractional share trading is no different than whole share trading. There's a couple little things you got to do, but it's not outside of your experience window. If you know how to do whole share trading on the app, you can do the fractional share. And here's a little tip. If you want to learn how to do fractional share and just say you're not comfortable and you can't do it, just go to the help desk on the app, go up to the top, type in fractional share trading, hit search, and it's going to give you a tutorial on how to do it. It's that simple. See, the Moo app has a lot of tutorials in there, guys, that can walk you through a lot of things. We just can't be afraid of it. We got to use the help desk and ask, and you'll get it. So don't be afraid to use the help desk. Don't be afraid to use customer service icons in the app to be a resource to help you, right? Don't be afraid of that. It's that easy. But if you're new, click on the link down in the description box, open up that Moo account, go get that free stock, go get that free money. Thank you again, guys. Hit that like button before you get out of here. I'm finna wrap this thing up. I got some more stuff to do, some housework to do. I do my own housework. I don't got nobody coming here to do nothing. I don't want nobody in my house but me and my children. So that's what we're rocking with. I got some housework to do, some laundry to do, so I'm gonna get going on that. But appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have made my life much more enjoyable because I get to rock with y'all every single day. So hit that thumbs up before you get out of here. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind. You can hold it in your hand. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.